Live from New York and Vermont and Florida, it's Coffee with Lavender with one, the only, brilliant, beautiful Lavender lady, Diana Clarion. Hi there, how you doing? And with me is the one, the only, the beautiful, brilliant, bionic dance, Kate Farr. Hello, my dearest love. How are you today?
Oh, I'm doing all right, I suppose. It's been a couple of days. I have actually started working on Quinn Redshift as a graphic novel,
Ooh,
and it's going fairly well. A couple of baby steps, figuring out what like exactly how to make a comic in Photoshop, that kind of thing.
ooh, yay.
But it's going fairly well. Also got myself tattoo number 11. It's still healing, so it looks kind of icky. But matching the colors to the lesbian flag that wasn't easy.
Wait a minute. That almost looks like a Russian flag.
Yeah, well, like I said, it looks kind of icky because it's still healing. There's still scabs and shit, so you know.
Oh my, oh my, oh my. Well, you can have the tattoos.
Yeah. Well, I have plans for more. It's just a matter of money and having the will to do it.
Mr. Bradbury, you have a call on line one.
Yeah, I don't know very many Ray Bradbury references. I never really liked his stuff.
But I'm trying to remember the exact title. The tattooed something.
Okay. You're gonna have to get a lot more specific here.
There was a novel he wrote that was turned into a film, and it was all about this tattooed man and zooming in on the tattoos, and they would become scenarios.
Hmm.
And then we have with us also the one, the only, the brilliant, beautiful Mage Grey Wolf. Hello, dear. How are you?
Okay, I'm currently working on some videos for my gardening channel.
Oh, yay.
So,
That's what I've got to do. I've got to work on a studio.
yeah, I kind of put together something I'm doing for the landscaping in my backyard,
Oh, yay.
and I started another video with a little mini science project. I'm not sure how it's going to turn out. I might, depending on how it goes, I'll have to see.
Oh, that sounds like could be fun.
If it works out, I'll probably have the little mini science experiment released sometime next month.
Um, the plant that ate Sheboygan.
Nah, Des Moines.
Okay.
But it was the cockroach that ate Cincinnati.
Oh my, I'm not sure if the cockroach could stand that.
I don't know. I remember that as some sort of like song or spoken word poem or something on some Dr. Demento collection. The cockroach that ate Cincinnati. No? Nobody? All right.
I was never the biggest fan of Cincinnati. I mean, I've been there many times.
Pretty
Just
sure I've only been the once,
okay.
maybe twice.
I mean, they've got a fairly decent zoo. I can say that for them. But
Well, let's see. Okay. So my father's sister and her husband both live in Cincinnati. Their son and his husband and their kid are moving back to Cincinnati to be closer to the grandparents. And I'm not sure, but I think one of their two daughters lives nearby too. I'll have to look. I have three cousins from that particular family.
okay. Yeah, I used to go there every year. There was a Mensa convention there every year near Christmas.
Hmm. You know, I'm not sure I understand the origin of the name Mensa. It's like you can't just parse it by reading it, you know?
Oh, from the Latin, it is table.
Hmm.
And the idea, I guess, was that Mensa was supposed to be a round table organization.
Hmm.
I
Now,
would,
that's another thing that mystifies me is why do people insist on saying in the Latin, not just in Latin?
I don't know.
It sounds pretentious as fuck, and I think that's why.
Could be. Oh my! I want to say hi to the audience today. Hello. I see that Shadow Katie is here. Who else have we got?
I don't know, but if there's others, they're being suspiciously silent. I think they're up to something.
We're always up to something around here. Making some choco milk here.
Hmm.
You hear about
What?
Bob Barker dying?
Oh, yeah,
No, I
I
didn't
was
hear
not
that.
happy about that at all.
When did that happen?
Like yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the original Harley Quinn also died.
I saw
Arlene.
that this morning.
I don't know. I mean, it like Bob Barker dying at 99. He managed to get as close as he could to 100 without going over.
Yeah, so that's two, because that's what Betty White did.
Okay, I feel the joke was missed, but all right.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, well, I'm not fully awake yet.
Oh, excuses, excuses.
Oh, my, oh, my. That's the crazy ass thing. I mean, I can remember Price is Right back, oh, I don't know, over 60 years ago when Bill Cullen was hosting.
Hmm. Well, I don't know. To me, it'll always be Bob Barker. And you know, it's weird because I went looking. There's like tons and tons and tons of The Price is Right on YouTube. You know, VHS rips, of course, but still. And like, I thought Rod Roddy did the announcing all the time. That sort of John Candy looking dude. But it turns out that only for a short while was he involved. And I was like, that is so weird because that's the guy I remember best doing the announcing.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm trying to remember the guy who I think did it halfway forever. He used to announce Saturday Night Live too.
Oh, I should know that name.
Was it Gary something?
I don't know. I really should know that name. Oh well,
Gary Owen? Was that it?
I don't know.
Oh well.
Yeah, it's funny because like the other night at D&D, we got into this weird discussion about Casey Kasem and the various roles he played in cartoons. Like it took forever for anyone to mention the radio show at all.
Oh my. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, gosh, I'm trying to remember. I remember how it was. Matthew Lillard came, like this other actor, he came up with some sort of like funky flavored whiskey. that somehow led to, oh yeah, because he played Shaggy in the live action Scooby Doo movies, and it was because Casey Kasem did the voice of Shaggy in the cartoon that people started talking about, Casey Kasem at D&D.
Okay.
That's how that progression happened. I forget how we got on Matthew Lillard and his whiskey, though.
Don't look at me. You did it.
I did not. It was brought up by one of the other people.
Oh, okay.
Although I did manage to shoot a gorgon in the ass with a hand crossbow.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
What? Her back was to me. Unfortunately, she made her saving throw against the sleep poison that was on the bolt. But what you gonna do? You can't have everything.
Right.
And another person died yesterday, Mikey Sutton.
Who's
Who's
that?
The creator of a comic book, Dreamwalker. He also founded Second Skin Comics and is editor-in-chief of Nikigasa City.
Well, never heard of the fella. Well, until now. When it's too late.
Yeah.
What you gonna do?
A lot of things you can do. I don't know how many of them are useful.
So I guess we can say that yesterday was a pretty crappy day.
Well, they say celebrities die in threes. I think that's a weird superstition-y thing, but still.
I think you've got people dying in more than threes.
Well,
If there's one day when the Earth's population did not decrease by more than 3, that would be extremely unusual.
yes, but I did specify celebrities.
Nah, Pacarosta.
Well, it matters. I mean, if I was talking about the population at large, I never would have said die in threes.
Oh,
That's another one that I think is weird. At large. Like,
Yeah.
Okay, so what's so big? Or is it one of those things like how great is sometimes a measure of size instead of, value or worth or whatever? Quality.
How great thou art.
Something like that. I don't know. Reminds me of that scene in Monty Python, I think is The Meaning of Life, where it's like praying to God and one of the lines is, "Ooh, you are so big."
All right.
Yeah. I watched a brief YouTube video with Eric Idle the other day. Actually, no, it was this morning, come to think of it, where he was like breaking down his various roles and not just Monty Python either, but mostly Monty Python. It was an interesting little thing.
Okay, I looked up the etymology of at large and I still don't get it.
Why? What's it say?
From Middle English, at large, at liberty or freedom, compared Middle English at large to be at one's liberty or be free, compared Old French au large, at liberty, and other senses.
Well, if it comes from a foreign language, it just is never going to make sense.
Well, it's apparently coming
completely makes sense. I don't know, either way.
Well, it's apparently coming from Middle English and French.
Well, I mean, my point is that if it's from a foreign language, and it sort of sounds like a word that we use, but it's not really. It's like hippopotamus and Potomac all over again. That's what I'm saying. It sounds like it ought to be related, but it's totally not. Well, I say that kind of thing happens all the time. And that because I said it, it's true.
Brian says where he's from, it means he ain't in jail.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Yeah, I guess that's closer to the etymology you read.
So, the other day, well, gosh, I guess it was yesterday. I met up with one of my subscribers and also the one who did the voice of the bartendrix in Quinn Redshift.
All right.
Yeah, she was in town for some sort of event, and we got pizza.
Is that the
Pizza.
one who had the script of exactly one word?
Yep.
Okay.
And the word was one.
Yes.
That's the best part. The word was one.
I was just thinking not too long ago, a day or two ago, considering where I am right now, I wonder how far I would get, say, if I were to invite Owen Morgan for coffee. Not that far from him.
He's in New York City, isn't he?
Say again?
New York City, right?
Yeah, he's right across from Central Park.
And
I'm about
spendy to live there.
Yes, it is. He must be doing pretty darn well for himself, and I'm happy for that.
Yeah.
Well, I actually read a comic book from Marvel that I enjoyed.
Really?
Oh my.
Are you feeling well?
For a modern Marvel comic, that's pretty rare.
Well, I don't know. Did I mention that I was watching this Netflix series that got unfortunately canceled that was based on a graphic novel? It's called I Am Not Okay With This. No?
Okay.
Well, it was interesting.
Yeah, I think I've
and
mentioned that
based on a
before.
graphic novel. The problem is that I wanted to know what would happen after where Netflix canceled the show because I hadn't actually read the graphic novel yet, right? And it turns out that, well, the Netflix series or the Netflix show, whatever, ended right where the like the graphic novel did. The only difference was that, well, at the end of the Netflix show, the main character was still alive. So, that didn't really tell me anything.
Okay.
Oh, well, what you gonna do?
I haven't the slightest idea what I'm going to do. I know what I need to do, but I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah. The Netflix show was actually fun. I thought I was not going to enjoy it, and it turned out it was pretty good.
Well, happy for lucky accidents.
Yeah.
One that was actually decent, that was kind of sort of based on a comic, was Daybreak. It's on Netflix.
I don't know that one.
It has Matthew Broderick as a principal.
Okay.
Basically, it's a sort of a post-apocalyptic comedy story where all the adults basically turned into zombies, and there's so you're just left with a bunch of kids and teenagers running the world.
Uh-huh.
It's one I've never seen before, isn't it?
It only had one season, but might be worth checking out.
I started watching The 100, which basically Earth got devastated by a war of some sort. And a bunch of people in orbit have been doing their best to make it work, but they're running low on stuff that they desperately need. And so, well, they also have this really draconian justice system where, like, the slightest infraction is a death sentence, and they basically space you, but they call it floating. Oh yeah, we had to float the guy or whatever, right? And so they take a bunch of, but they won't do it to you unless you're 18 years old or older. And so a bunch of kids, juveniles who are locked up, instead of thrown out the airlock, 100 of them are sent down to Earth to see if it's at all habitable. And it sort of rather quickly turns into Lord of the Flies meets Lost.
Oh boy.
Yeah. But the problem is that like I started season 3, and it's not that it's bad exactly, but it feels like they ran out of ideas. I don't know.
Well, that happens a lot.
Oddly
Well,
enough,
either that or the writers got lazy and they started doing that thing where it's like, well, this is what we do in every other show, so just throw the same plot at the audience again. You know?
Or did the strike kick the shit out of it?
No, 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 no. The 100 was like over and done with. Like they got about 10 seasons, I think, but years ago. It was over
Okay.
and done with years ago.
Hmm.
So,
Is that strike still going on?
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
I still think it's funny. Like, when I did that appearance on Tosh.0, right? Well, I still get like residual checks every now and then from SAG-AFTRA, but they're usually like $1. Like it's never under $1, but it's rarely above 2. Except a few weeks ago, I got a check for $118, and I was like, "What the hell happened?" I can only assume that Tosh put out like a bunch of his shows on disc or something. And someone told me he put them up on some personalized streaming service, but whatever it is, I'm getting residuals off it, and they're a lot more than I expected to get.
Nice.
And it feels a little weird though, because I'm like, well, there's all those people striking. Is it really ethical or whatever for me to cash this? Then I
Yes,
realized,
it is.
you know what? Sure it is.
Yeah,
That's
why not?
them getting paid.
Ugh.
Like that is kind of the whole point of them strike making.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
it was pretty, well, I found it ironic, but whatever.
I'm finding what interesting is this One Piece, this live action and show that's supposed to be coming in Netflix at the end of the month is apparently good, from what I'm hearing.
What is it?
One Piece.
What?
It's a live action series that they're making on Netflix that's based on a anime manga, which is I'm kind of wondering. I was kind of skeptical about it, seeing as it seems to be first of all, it looks like a really difficult one to translate over to live action, and it looked kind of cosplay-ish the way they had it done up. But apparently, they're trying to be very faithful to the original source material.
Well, that's good, because that's pretty damned rare.
And early viewings are saying that it was actually good, so I'm kind of curious now.
Hmm.
The place to be, huh, Bloggerty? Have you looked at Jones lately? I haven't tuned into Jones in years, so I don't know exactly how bad he's got.
Sorry, which Jones?
Michael Jones, the pastor I used to work for.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I've been looking at some of the stuff that's falling on the head of Alex Jones, but other than that, I mean, that guy is so fucked.
Oh man, I guess that's his calling card.
Is he as fucked as Trump?
No. Actually, it's interesting. I've been following this YouTube channel for maybe a week, but I watched most of his back catalog called Legal Eagle.
Yeah, he's good.
That guy's awesome. And he breaks down a lot of this stuff, like what's going to happen to Trump and why. And like he gets into all of the reasons for like delays or calling this, that, or the other witness instead of that one, or doing things in a certain order. It's very actually quite interesting. And he manages to make all of his legal shit not boring.
Yeah. He did another one yesterday. I haven't gotten to watch yet. Trump versus free speech.
Although I gotta say that the best ones, like I saw the one with Christmas Vacation and how much time everyone's getting in jail. Then I saw the one with Willy Wonka. But I have to say, my favorite is how Batman is getting something like 76 trillion years in prison or something. It's like this crazy amount of time in jail.
Oh my.
I'm not sure I saw that one.
Yeah, it like basically the trick that they did with the cell phones in whichever the hell the one was with the drink.
Oh, that one, yeah. The
Yeah,
Dark Knight one.
that alone accounted for almost all of the time that Batman would have spent in jail.
Hey, Coda and Bluggerty, am I patting myself on the back, or is it the case that Jones peaked when I was working for him and then dropped when I left?
Well, sometimes that sort of thing is coincidence. I was assistant manager at a video store way back in the day, and a couple of months after I left, basically everybody got arrested for dealing drugs out of the back room.
Oh,
Oh,
great.
So, I don't think I had anything to do with that.
Yeah, I worked at a Radio Shack where that happened.
Sounds like you left at the right time.
Pretty much.
Yep.
That store was a joke. I got to tell you, it was like being in. Imagine if Clerks took place in the world of Idiocracy. That's what it was like working there.
Oh, jeez.
I know.
Yeah, Aussie was good. I liked Aussie's contribution. Because as far as Jones goes, it was what? It was all Ephesians. I mean, it's all he knew how to do.
Now, Ephesians always sounds to me like some sort of weird medical discharge or something. Oh my God, Ephesians, wipe it up. Well, I mean, what am I going to say? That's what it sounds like.
Oh my. Those were the days. I miss those days mainly because I had health. Yeah, people, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between, when they tell you that your health is everything, believe them.
Well, in that case, for my mental health, I'm leaving.
Yeah, yeah, Ozzy was there that first show I did. Because what the hell happened? I responded to something they did, and they invited me on. They kind of brushed me off when I was there. I don't know exactly why. If it was because I wasn't a full-time pastor or because I was a girl or what, I don't know. But I came to fit in, and Jones and I would argue over, God, he always tried to get me to quit being an atheist.
Why were you working for a pastor as an atheist?
That was a really strange thing that happened. I discovered Jones because Aaron Ra was on a number of his broadcasts. And I got kind of interested in their interaction. And as I said, I responded to one of the shows they did. And they invited me on to respond to the response, basically. And I ended up staying around for about a year and a half.
What were you doing?
I was kind of Ed McMahon to Jones's Johnny Carson.
Uh-huh. And they were just okay with an atheist on a panel? I mean, I'm trying to picture what's going on here.
Yeah, for some strange reason, he was okay with it.
All right.
Well, such as it was, I mean, he was always trying to convert me.
Oh, well.
He was trying to, oh, no, you're not an atheist. You know, it's like, yes, I am. Sorry.
I don't know. I still look at religious people of any stripe as basically a bunch of fantasy fans talking about their favorite franchise.
Okay.
I mean, seriously, I have listened to religious people debating like
Whoa.
the lore of their religion, as in like, no, our vision of God is right. No, our vision of God is right. The Bible says this and means that. No, like that. And it sounds like people arguing like, oh, no, midi-chlorians are not the force itself. Midi-chlorians are just a conduit between, that kind of, it sounds like a bunch of geeks arguing over their favorite franchise. It really does.
Yeah, okay. I got you. But what really gets me are the people that are all about the Bible. The Bible says this, therefore you have to do that, and the Bible says that, so you have to do the other. And when you really come down to it, the Bible was never a rule book.
I mean, it has
It was a Brothers
rules in
Grimm
it.
Christians.
It has a bunch of rules in it, that's for darn sure.
Yeah, they just kind of ended up there by accident, really.
I'm still trying to figure out why someone needs to keep kosher.
Oh my! Well, I heard a really good explanation of that one from a Unitarian Universalist pastor. Um, it was about exclusion. Um, about who would eat at your table.
Okay. That's still not making sense.
And then if you don't eat at the table, you're really not part of the group.
Still not making sense. Are we not talking about the same thing when we talk about being kosher?
Talking about the food laws, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what does this have to do with not eating at the table? I don't understand. It doesn't make sense.
Well, I don't keep kosher. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, I just had pork sausage for breakfast this morning.
Sure.
So it's less likely that I am going to eat at a kosher table because of my proclivities where food comes in.
See, that to me seems backward. It seems to me like kosher restricts the diet of the Jewish people. So if you are not like if you're not Jewish and you're not keeping kosher, you can still eat a kosher meal and actually be completely satisfied. So it seems like it's more the Jews excluding themselves than anyone excluding the Jews.
Oh, that's got to be a lot of it. Yeah.
But the Jews are the ones imposing the kosher restrictions on themselves.
That happens a lot with a lot of groups.
But it doesn't make any sense in the context of this is to make sure that only the right people are at your table. It doesn't fit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but if you don't eat your meat, you can't have any pudding.
How can you eat your pudding if you don't eat your meat?
I'm clearly missing a reference.
The wall.
No, I
Pink
haven't
Floyd.
seen it. I mean, I've tried listening to Pink Floyd and can't do it.
I rather like a lot of their output. The Shine On You Crazy Diamond. Oh my God. Put the headphones on, turn it up to 15.
Okay. I mean, this is another something I know nothing about.
That's from the, oh God, what was the title of that album? It's the two guys shaking hands. One of them's on fire.
Oh, that one. I've seen the cover. I don't know the title. but I certainly don't know the song, or at least not by name. I mean, there have been times where someone says, "Oh, you know this song by this band." I'm like, "What?" And then I hear the song and I'm like, "Oh, that." So,
It's a concept album.
mm,
Wish You Were Here. That's the name of the album.
oh, hmm. I wonder if that's the song I'm thinking of, because I swear that may have been someone else, but all right. Maybe I'm thinking of a cover. I don't know.
Oh my.
Molly chewing on her foot again.
Oh no. But what I
No,
miss about
that's
being here, I don't have an orchestra nearby here. I mean, the closest orchestra is the New York Phil.
Well,
Well, that chased everybody away.
yeah, orchestra music. I really only care if it's a movie score.
Hmm.
Because for the most part, music played by orchestras is so not my thing.
I love the rich scoring.
I don't know. Sometimes I think it's just too darn complicated and it triggers my autism a bit.
Okay, I can understand.
It's kind of like how I don't like old cathedrals and stuff because they always have all these like ridges and knobs and weird little things stuck all over the walls. And I don't just mean gargoyles. And I'm just like, this is way too busy. Give me the nice, smooth lines of modernist or brutalist architecture. Give me the nice, smooth lines of Googie, for fuck's sake.
Googie?
It's like sort of a retro 50s atomic age kind of look.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll get you a nice Cybertruck.
Well, you know, I have to admit, as ugly as that thing is, it's actually kind of good looking. I know that doesn't
Yeah.
make sense, but
It's nicely ugly.
I mean, it looks like something out of an 80s movie, is the thing.
Yeah. I'll give him that much.
And you know how much I love the 80s.
Oh, really?
Oh, just a smidge.
Never would have known.
Uh-huh.
I'm just curious here.
Hmm.
Oh, 5 watching. I am impressed.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can whittle that down.
But I have to admit, I was a little irritated when I was watching some rando channel's video and they go, I can't get a sponsorship because I'm such a small channel and I'm staring at 81,000 subscribers. And I'm like, fuck you. I barely cracked 25,000 over 13 years. Fuck you. Oh, well, what you gonna do, huh?
My subscriber count has been going up a little bit in the past few days with my gardening channel for some reason.
Yay.
Which is kind of odd since I haven't really done anything with it yet this past week or so.
I've got to resurrect my stuff for real and everything. I mean, since my health went, I just haven't done anything.
So I've been thinking about wanting to make videos again. I kind of do, but I don't want to go back to the atheism scene. It just, I don't know. After a while, making those videos just got stressful. So I'm not really sure what I would do if I made videos, but someone actually said that I should go on Twitch and make the comics that I'm making or make the art that I'm making on Twitch, like live. apparently people give you suggestions. You can get kind of popular doing stuff. And I figured, why not? Maybe I'll do that.
Mind shift. What is this mind shift?
Huh?
Bloggerty says, Diana, you would be a good guest for mind shift. I do
Oh.
not know what is this mind shift.
Well, I don't know either.
Never
I
heard
don't
of it.
know nothing.
Oh, that killed the conversation.
Yeah.
New channel with former preacher. Oh,
Hmm. No,
I
it
like
was
that
kind
former.
of nice. I saw like some preacher or whatever, like Catholic priest with the Hitler collar thing going on. It always looks to me like Hitler's mustache, but down on their neck. I don't know. But whatever. Point being, he was all like going off on, well, mostly the right wing, about like stop spreading all of these myths of LGBT people being pedophiles. It's not helping, and you're making all of us look like psychopaths. So knock it off. And I actually was really glad that he did that, because there have been so many times where I've spoken to religious people where they're like, well, we're not the religious people that do X, Y, or Z. So why should I take responsibility for these other people? Why should I have to say anything to or about them? And this guy stepped up and showed why you should.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I was happy about that. What the hell is up with that collar anyway?
What? The notched collar?
Yeah, well, that and deliberately putting a white thingy in it. I mean, like I could almost see that collar if there was just skin underneath, but for some reason there's that white doohickey. I don't really get it.
I never really bothered to think about it. Um, Origin of notched color.
Well, if you don't specify for Catholic priests, you're not going to get good results.
Clergy collar, informally dog collar.
What does notched collar mean?
Let's see. Okay, let's just.
Invented in 1865.
Oh, well, it says here that it was just for clergy to be easily identified outside the church.
Okay.
That's all.
This says it was invented in the Presbyterian tradition. Okay.
Hmm. Yeah, I always think of it as Catholic, but sure. Why not? I don't know. It's funny, it seems so rare to see an actual nun out in the wild. And when I say actual nun, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of nuns out there, and I've seen them, and I didn't know that's what they were because they weren't wearing the damn penguin suit, you know?
Yeah.
It's been such a long time. But I did see I don't know, is it a cardinal or whatever? When I was in San Francisco, I saw a guy walking down the street in full on Guido Sarducci gear.
Oh, wow.
I'm kidding. And it didn't seem ironic. I don't think he was like cosplaying or anything. I think dude was actually whatever the frick Father Guido Sarducci is, because it looked like exactly the same outfit.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I was amused anyway.
Boy, it's been a long time since I've seen any of that regalia in use.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen quite a few bishops and archbishops, and they do it up proud.
I don't know. I still want to find a bishop and insist that he prove his bona fides by walking diagonally.
Yeah, I got slapped in the face by a bishop.
For saying that?
That was the way they did the confirmations.
What, being slapped?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
You would stand in line to get a cross painted on your forehead in oil and then slapped on the cheek, and then you were official.
Now, was this a hard smack? Was this "thank you, sir, may I have another"? Or was this just sort of a perfunctory whack?
Just a perfunctory whack.
Oh, well, see, you made it sound different. That'd be like if I said, oh, yeah, the other day I was stabbed in the arm repeatedly by a complete stranger who was using needles to do it, and people would be like, oh my God, that's horrific, until I told them it was a tattoo.
Okay.
You know, so slapped by a bishop sounds more like you were abused. You know what I mean?
Well, they were pretty good at that.
Yes, but I meant in that specific instance.
Okay, then. Yeah, that was the darn thing. I was an altar boy for years, and I was never abused by a priest. I kind of felt left out.
Mm. Yeah, well. Actually, in a weird way, I kind of get it, even if that's just a joke. Because, like, everybody seems to have, like, all these atheists anyway, seem to have an escaping religion story. This is how I left religion, realized it was wrong, came out to my family as an atheist, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, yeah, I converted my dad to atheism. Like, I was always an atheist. My story's really boring, guys. You know, it's just like kind of sad, really. So I sort of get it, you know.
Okay.
Or it's like, yeah, could I get like even one wolf whistle someday? I know it's sexist as fuck, but it sure would be nice to be appreciated. You know, that kind of thing.
I
It's
can
like,
appreciate that. Yeah.
you know, I mean, it's not anything you actually want, but in a way, it's like, dude, when the fuck's my turn? You know?
Mhm.
Ever see that one meme has would you guys like it if girls did this to you, and basically shows all these things that guys would probably like if a girl actually did it.
Okay.
Like getting catcalled and shit.
Um, I don't know, like how much pressure is there, like just because of tradition, on guys to be the one to make the first move?
No,
I
I
guess
definitely
it's
have.
a tradition, really. That's as far as it goes.
I definitely have a difficult time making the first move.
I mean, like things are changing. As I understand it, like having a clubhouse with a no girls allowed sign on it is not a thing anymore. So, I mean, things are changing, and that's good.
Then again,
But
I'm usually
still,
also oblivious to anybody having interest in me.
well, there is that too, yeah. Um, I have no idea when I'm being hit on unless it's explicitly stated.
Okay.
Well, I keep saying my longest relationship began when she got me alone and planted one.
Yeah, it's a good sign.
Yeah, it's hard to mistake that. Although oddly enough, apparently when it's sex, it's easier to screw that one up. Because it's like sometimes you were just a one night stand or a quickie or something, and you know, but someone just getting you alone and making out with you is completely different. Isn't that weird?
Not necessarily. I mean, you're after two different things.
Yeah, but I mean, rarely does someone just like, you know, corner you and make out with you when they don't want more. You know, like picking someone up at a bar or having, like inappropriate sex with a friend where neither one of you should have done it, kind of thing. And it screws stuff up. I mean, I don't know. It just seems like somehow sex where at the end of it you're all, oh, you knew what this was, when you're getting up to leave, kind of deal. Granted, I don't know if that really happens. I've only seen it on TV, but the point is that's different. Like you never really have that with a makeout session unless you're drunk at a party, which has happened.
Yeah, none of this has happened to me.
Well,
I mean, when I look back on it, all my sex has been inappropriate.
hmm. I mean, there's one or two people I probably shouldn't have slept with, but beyond that, still, some of the memories are interesting.
Yeah, there's always those.
Well, I mean, like I was talking to a friend of mine from here in Vermont, one of my old high school friends, about what we had done when we were living in different parts of the country from each other. And my experiences in the goth community really don't mirror hers at all. Like, because she was never in the goth community or whatever. I was talking about how it was actually kind of fun sometimes to just go to the club, get kind of fucked up, wake up on a friend's couch the next day, kind of thing. There was something fun to that. As long as you didn't overdo it, it was fun. Or instead of waking up on a friend's couch, all of us ending up at the IHOP at 1 a.m., that kind of thing.
Yeah.
There was something fun to that part of my life, even though it did involve a lot of money and occasionally throwing up. Although actually I have not done a lot of that. I think I've thrown up due to alcohol like 2 or 3 times tops.
You better not.
Yeah. But I mean, point being is that partying down was fun. I don't know. I mean, I really don't think I'd give up the years that I ran with goths, even though I'm totally not one.
Oh my.
Like, really, the main overlap I have with the goth community is a love of synthwave music,
Okay.
which I do love. It's funny, a lot of the AI art engines out there will have a synthwave filter now, or a cyberpunk filter, but I've seen a lot of them with synthwave, and I'm like, wow, the people making these are as much 80s kids as I am, it seems. Well, I mean, because synthwave is very 80s, and it does have a specific visual style as well as music.
I'll take your word for it.
You were around during the 80s, you have no excuse.
I guess I just wasn't paying much attention.
Hmm. You've heard me say it before, I wouldn't give up the 1980s for pretty much anything except possibly a hyperspace capable starship. And even then, I don't know.
I guess you feel about the 80s more or less the same way I feel about the early 60s.
I'm going to say I doubt it.
How's that?
Well, I mean, I'm thinking that most of that was focused on one or two tiny bits of the time.
Whose? Yours or mine?
Yours.
Okay.
Like I'm guessing that there were specific things you liked about it rather than that time in general.
Well, I mean, there was the program.
This is what I'm talking about, except it's program.
But there was the time as well. I mean, when I think back on it, the sky seemed bluer, the grass seemed greener.
Your eyes just worked better then.
Maybe they did.
I don't know. I mean,
It's one of the things about this place. Um, it's not home by any means, but it is pretty, and it reminds me a little bit of those days.
well, I don't know. Yeah, that killed the conversation.
Bang bang.
Yeah, no, I mean, for me, I can actually point to very specific differences between then and, well, basically the 90s onward, and I have many times. Point being that if I were to say the grass was greener, I'd mean it figuratively, and it's true. Like it seemed like the pop culture was a lot more upbeat back then.
Well, I also mean literally. It just looked different in my mind, and I think it's what my memory has done to the experience.
Oh, it could also be pollution.
That too.
I remember when I was really little, I thought everything was just in black and white. Before the color came around.
Okay.
Oh, you mean like? Oh, wow. Okay.
Like real life was, what we saw in. But I was like, really little.
Hmm. That would have been really weird to live through.
Well, I mean that was my only reference to those times. So black and white images.
Well, I mean, imagine like it's one of those TV shows where there's a ticking time bomb and it's like, cut the red wire. Which the hell one's the red wire? You know, that kind of thing. Yeah. And I've often wondered what it would be like to go back in time with color movies and show them back then just to see what would happen. Like don't even tell people that the movie's in color. You know, advertise it in black and white, even on the posters or whatever they were using like way back in the day. And then, you know, like people get into the theater and you start showing it, how do they react to all of a sudden, holy fuck, this thing's in color?
Well, that's basically what they did with Wizard of Oz.
Well, yeah. I thought they made a big deal out of it, actually.
Yeah, they did.
Well, but that's my point is I would want to show people a movie like they'd never seen color, video, film, whatever before, ever. And you don't let them know that they're about to see something that's in color.
Well, that did happen with some people with Wizard of Oz. Some people only saw it on TV where it was only a black and white TV, so it didn't show the color.
Oh, but
So
they knew the color was coming though, didn't they?
no, they didn't.
Not necessarily.
Some people didn't know that the Wizard of Oz was mostly in color. So when they finally got to see it with the color, they're like, blown away. Like, holy shit! I didn't even know this was.
Yeah, the dream sequence was in color, and the surrounding stuff was in black and white to demonstrate how mundane it was.
Yeah, the real life stuff was in black and white, and then when Dorothy went to Oz, it all went to color.
Yeah.
Still.
And it was very revolutionary.
Going back in time with movies with just like absolutely incredible special effects where, I mean, there's a lot of times where the special effects, you can't tell what's CGI and what's not, and just show these impossible movies to people, I would find that interesting just to see, like, what do you think just happened here? How do you think that image was achieved?
Without any knowledge of computer graphics, they would have no idea.
Yeah. I mean, hell, show these people Toy Story and ask them what the hell they think it was. I don't know. It's something I've often wondered how people would react to that. I mean, also, I wonder a little bit how they'd react to just the pacing of movies today. Because old movies are slow. Old movies desperately need an editor.
I don't know. I think some of the new movies need editing.
Well, but what I mean is for pacing.
Sometimes we end up throwing too much into the movie that probably otherwise should have been cut.
If a movie ever has me shouting, "Get on with it," it was not a well-edited movie. But okay, take for example, Oppenheimer is about 3 hours long, and there was no wasted time in that movie at all. But I've seen 90-minute movies where I'm just like, oh my God, this is dragging. Come on, get on with it. Tell a freaking story already.
I'm definitely gonna have to see this Oppenheimer if it's like that.
I was just thinking I'm gonna have to see that one of these days.
So,
can I get into a cinema for less than a month's salary?
Yes, actually. Now, I don't know if they're doing this anywhere near you, but there is a movie theater near me where Tuesdays, every movie, no matter what time, no matter what movie, is $5.
Pretty sure that's pretty only you.
Well, yeah, but still, I mean, there's got to be something similar somewhere. I mean, I'm sure there's other theaters near everyone in this show that has a bargain day.
Not that I'm aware of.
I don't know. I wasn't aware of it until my dad told me about it, the one near us. I've seen, Top Gun Maverick, Barbie, and Oppenheimer at that theater, all on Tuesdays. Mind you, it was there before I left for Seattle, too, so I've seen many, many, many other movies at that theater, but... Actually, it's funny. I remember, well, I actually didn't remember this. My dad had to remind me of it. We, sunny summer day, so like a bunch of idiots, we go and watch a movie. We went to see Waterworld. And when we left, it was pouring like you wouldn't believe. It was crazy. Like the whole parking lot was flooded. And we're sitting here thinking, we saw Waterworld. What the fuck?
That movie isn't as bad as people make it out to be.
No, it's not. I loved it and still do. I mean, I guess I can kind of see why people didn't really enjoy some aspects of it. I mean, there are times when it's kind of silly, but
yeah,
it's fun. I'm just saying. I've always liked the post-apocalypse genre anyway. Ever since I saw The Road Warrior. Something about it. I don't know how to explain why that genre is so cool. Especially since in real life, that sort of thing would suck so hard. Oh, think about it. You'd be dead of dysentery or something in a very short amount of time. I
The
mean,
food,
this is assuming that radiation didn't get you.
the food would be kind of sucky.
Well, I mean, hell, they make that point in The Road Warrior when he's eating dog food. Now, I heard a rumor, and I'm not sure because it's one of those things where nobody knows the truth for sure. But I heard that that's real dog food, and you can tell that it is because of the label on the can says Dinky D, which apparently is Australian slang for the real thing or the genuine article or any of those. So there is a chance that Mel Gibson was eating dog food. And honestly, if there's some celebrity who's going to go eating dog food, it's hard to imagine a better candidate other than, well, William Shatner. I mean, let's face it, Mel Gibson's kind of a psychopath. You may have noticed.
A little bit.
Yep. In the scene, Mad Max eats a can of Dinky D dog food. Dinky D in Australian slang is genuine real. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So there is a very good chance, unless there's an actual company that makes dog food called Dinky D. I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure. I really wish I could define what it was about the post-apocalypse genre that I love so much. I mean, I'm sure there's something. It's kind of like I adore Fallout 4. That is such a well-built game. The one thing that does bug me about those like computer and console RPGs is how random people just start talking to you. You go walking past a complete stranger, you're maybe not even looking at them, and they'll come up to you and say, like, my grandma is doing this, that, or the other thing, and her cottage is haunted, and won't you help out? And it's like, kid, you don't know me, and you say the same thing every time I walk past you. This makes no sense. I don't know. I'm obviously overthinking it, but still, that bugs me.
I thought I was the one who overthinked everything.
Mm. Well, one of my favorite moments of overthinking a movie was in Young Sheldon, where he was watching a musical. And he's like, this makes no sense. How do these people all know the same dance moves? And where is that music coming from? And why are they singing and dancing at all? And I thought it was funny. I don't know. Because if you really think about it, musicals don't make any sense at all if you take them at face value. You know?
Right.
I'm just saying. I mean, it's funny how many TV shows will do a musical episode for one reason or another. I mean, Buffy did one, Scrubs did one. I seem to vaguely remember House did one, or at least they had some sort of music video or something going on. I don't know. There was a dance routine. How I Met Your Mother did a number of standalone dance routines where it wasn't the whole episode, but just out of nowhere, there's suddenly a song and dance number, kind of like Every Sperm is Sacred in Monty Python's Meaning of Life.
Apparently, the Star Trek Strange New Worlds did the musical.
I wonder, like, how that impulse comes about, where someone's like, we love the show as it is, but what if everyone sang?
I don't know. I think maybe maybe a lot of ethanol is necessary.
I don't know. To me, that sounds like a THC job.
Okay.
Speaking of which, ugh. And when that stuff gets down to the dregs, it honestly smells literally like poo.
Ooh.
Yeah. And I don't mean Winnie.
It is again. It is poo. It is really full of poo.
Yeah, that's my fault. And I actually got a chance to watch Cocaine Bear yesterday. It's streaming on one of the services I have finally.
How
That
was it?
movie could not decide what it was because there were times where it was horror, there were times where it was comedy, and then there were times when it was deadpan comedy instead of slapstick comedy. That movie had no idea what it was trying to be.
Mm.
But I mean, it was still fun, and apparently it's Ray Liotta's last movie, so. And he played his part really well.
Well, I still want Cocaine Bear versus Meth Gator.
Someone a while back sent me this movie that I still haven't watched because I'm worried it's going to just be that bad, called Velocipaster.
Oh, Porpoise keeps suggesting that for movie night.
I should watch it. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll do that for a movie night sometime.
I mean, I have been watching a bunch of the stuff that I just haven't gotten round to yet. Some of it's been good, some of it's been awful, But
Yeah.
what I'm really looking for is a good TV series or something that I can really sink my teeth into, but nothing too terribly action based because I would like to be able to work while I watch. Like I'm looking for something that's a little more sitcom-y, you know?
Yeah, I recently watched The Fly and The Fly 2, the one with Jeff Goldblum.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, a lot of ethics issues with the way they carried out the scientific experiments in those movies.
Whoa, doy. Now, remind me, because I have this weird memory of something happening in a movie where when they tried to transport something the first time, did it turn inside out?
Yeah, basically.
Okay, it's probably the scene I'm thinking of then.
Yeah, the first attempt at transporting a live thing, I think it was a baboon or orangutan or something, and it got basically turned inside out.
Yeah, I remember being pretty grossed out by that, although I was much more grossed out by him barfing on his dinner.
The second one, they just kind of got mutated.
Now, I have to admit, though, with a movie called The Fly, I really expected a bit more like Fly, you know? I would expect it to end in a vaguely kind of King Kongish way, but it doesn't.
Why I was surprised as I found out that the original Fly, they actually had 2 other movies following it.
Huh.
I did not know that.
Now, the original Fly, does that also use a transporter, or is there some other way dude turns into a bug?
I think it also uses a transporter.
Hmm. Well, I don't know. I haven't seen that movie since it first hit VHS anyway. The Fly, I mean. Like the Jeff Goldblum Fly.
Yeah. Last night I watched The Puppet Master.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is that the one? No, I'm thinking of something else. So, what'd you think?
I liked it. I've seen it before.
Oh, well, okay then.
No,
Yeah, watched a couple of movies I haven't seen in ages and was underwhelmed by some of them.
Yeah, it has been a while since I've seen Puppet Master. So
Yeah. I watched Funny Farm with Chevy Chase, and it wasn't that good. I remember it being a lot funnier. I
Hmm.
don't know, in fact, at times it got kind of dark. But one thing that was a little interesting about it, and I didn't remember this until I started watching it and started looking at license plates, is that it was filmed in Vermont. It takes place in Vermont too, except that Red Bud, Vermont is not a real town.
Hmm.
They filmed in the town of my birth.
Yeah.
So there's that.
I plan to
Use a
get through.
lot of locals as extras.
I plan to get through the other Puppet Master movies.
Yeah?
Yeah, at least up to I think 5. There's a bunch of them.
I'm not sure if I've ever seen any of them. And I'm completely mixing it up with other movies because when I try to think of Puppet Master, I picture something else.
Yeah, there is another movie called The Puppet Masters, which is a sort of an alien invasion type movie.
Oh, that's completely different. That's the one based on the Heinlein book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Puppet Master is this Andre Toulon. He creates these puppets that he can bring to life using some kind of ancient Egyptian magical thing.
Mm, I don't know. So, all right. Let's take a sort of informal poll. Zombies, magical or virus? Which do you prefer?
I usually go for the virus.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just me, but I keep thinking about the Evil Dead and all of that stuff. And it seems to me that magical zombies are cooler.
Or then again, if you go for zombies, my favorite zombie movie is Return of the Living Dead, which is actually chemical.
Hmm. Is that the one where they were like trying to draw a parallel to drugs, or am I thinking of something else?
Uh, there was some parallels to like Agent Orange.
I meant more like, Coke and speed, but sure.
Yeah, yeah, I think they're like trying to get rid of marijuana fields or something with this stuff, and it ends up the chemical actually raises the dead. Was the backstory to it?
I forget on which service, but one of my streaming services has Reefer Madness. And I figured I'd watch it, and it is so bad. Oh my
Oh,
god,
jeez.
Reefer Madness is so terrible.
Yeah, there you go. Do a double feature of Reefer Madness and the Star Wars Holiday Special.
No, there we go. I have both of the Ewok movies on disc.
Hmm.
You remember the Ewok movies, right?
Yes, I do vaguely. I remember seeing them.
They're so bad. I mean, I actually haven't watched the second one. It has Wilford Brimley in it as like some sort of wizard. I don't know. Like these. Aside from the fact that there are Ewoks in them, they really have nothing to do with Star Wars.
I remember the Ewok cartoon.
Well, that's completely different. But yeah. Well, it's funny because all of those Ewoks have names, and none of them are said during the movie.
Hmm. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, find me even one moment someone says Wicket. I dare you.
Hmm. Yeah, I remember getting the names off of the toys.
Exactly. I mean, one thing I really miss is being able to watch the cartoons and other shows and movies from when I was little and not notice the marketing. Not notice the we are trying to sell you toys part of it. I miss being able to watch them without that.
Hmm.
But I was watching Mask the other day, and I was like, "Oh, this is such a commercial for toys! Holy shit, this is a commercial for toys!"
Yeah.
Ugh. I mean, I loved that show back in the day, but watching it now, I'm just like, I still like this, but I'm seeing behind the curtain, and I don't like that.
Similar for Transformers.
Yeah, and GI Joe.
Yeah. In fact, I was just grabbing some GI Joe cartoons so I can watch through them.
I want to say a little bit less so with like some of the other cartoons, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just eh.
Yeah, they were pretty much all commercials for toys.
Well, but I mean, there were some that didn't even have toys.
Hmm.
You know,
Having trouble thinking of any ones.
Galaxy High School, no toys.
Oh. Hmm.
Oh gosh, I don't think they ever made toys out of those Dungeons and Dragons cartoons,
Yeah, actually, I think they did.
did they?
Hmm.
Hmm.
They were rather obscure, though.
I mean, I hate to say it, but the Bionic 6 toys are freaking ugly. I mean, like,
Yeah.
severely ugly. I love that show to death, but if they were trying to sell toys, they failed.
Yeah,
I,
they.
I look on eBay and I'm like, I want one of these just because I'm such a fan of the show, but I don't want one of these because, oh my God, that's horrific looking.
I had a couple of the bad guys, I remember,
Yeah,
but that's about it.
but I don't remember there being toys for the Snorks.
Hmm.
I don't know. Maybe I'm misremembering, but I don't remember the Snorks having toys. I mean, there were a bunch where it was pretty clear they had the toys before they ever made the show. I mean, like Kissy Fur and the Wuzzles. Clearly, though, unless there was an obscure children's book that they adapted, I honestly am convinced that those started out as marketing and had a lore built around them later.
Yep, nope, there were toys for the Snorks.
Were there?
Yep,
Hmm.
see little plushies for a vintage 1983 plush Snork.
Well, that's annoying. I mean, clearly strawberry shortcake was a cash grab.
Yeah,
I don't know about Gem and the holograms though. That one might have been a little more honest. I'm not sure.
that one had a toy line to it.
Oh, I know, but I'm saying like as the ones that started as toys and then later became a show, like had a show written around the toys. I suspect Gem started with a story and then they marketed it, but I'm not sure.
Hmm. Don't know. I remember occasionally watching it from time to time because it would play either before or after something else I was watching.
Now, you know what I really wish they'd put on disc or put on a streaming service somewhere is you can't do that on television.
Oh yeah,
That show is so much fun and so freaking twisted.
I watched that all the time as a kid.
I mean, like I'm watching it on YouTube because there are so many episodes up on YouTube, but they're
Really?
like bad VHS rips.
Oh,
And I'm like, you really can't do that on television. I
yeah,
mean,
I
maybe
know.
you could back then, but now no one would ever allow that. Oh my God. Some of the stuff they did on that show is so illegal.
Definitely lived up to its name.
I hope. But I don't know.
Hmm.
Like,
Probably can find some good copies of that.
but seriously, I would buy the crap out of that if it was on disc. I really would. And if it was on a streaming service, I'd watch it constantly. I mean, that show is a lot of fun. Although one thing that does bug me now is like Moose and Lisa used to like argue all the time over which one of them was fat. And I'm watching them now, and I'm like, neither one of these girls are fat. Hell, there is an episode where Christine's wearing a bathing suit, and I'm like, this girl is like completely thin. There is no fat on her body, and yet she and Lisa argued all the time about who was fat.
Well, the idea of what fat has definitely changed over the years.
It's true. I don't know. That bothers me now. Oh well, whatever. It's not important.
Well, I did find a good copy of You Can't Do That on Television on one of my sites.
Yeah? Like all of it?
Looks like it.
Huh. Well, shoot me a link or something, because my gosh. Are you saying this is something a person can download?
Well, I can.
Oh.
I have special software.
Oh. Well, if there's some way to get this to me, please, by all means. I saw an interview with Christine and Alistair, and you can still tell that she used to be Moose, but I would never have recognized him on the street ever. Dude got like old and bald. And much more soft-spoken than I remember him being on the show. It was kind of like, it was as difficult to tell that it was him as it was difficult to tell that it was Janeway in Orange is the New Black, where she's like a red-headed Russian lady who's very overweight, where she used to be a brunette, thin Starfleet captain. I mean, it took me 3 episodes to recognize her.
Yeah, you can get on Amazon Prime, but you need Paramount Plus with it. Fuck that.
What are you saying, that you can't do that on television? Is streaming on Paramount Plus?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I don't have Paramount Plus. That sucks.
Still a little rainy, but looks like it's been cleaned up.
Well, I mean, there were some that were nigh inaudible on YouTube. So, where did Diana go anyway?
She's on the floor.
Why?
Because it's comfy down here.
Oh.
That's where I thought you were.
Yeah, just taking the strain off the neck.
Yeah, I was having a little bit of neck problems this morning too.
Well, I've got the appointment tomorrow. I don't know if I'll get anything out of it.
When you say appointment?
With a pain management clinic.
Oh. I mean, I'm fairly decent at pain management. I haven't hurt either one of you yet.
Huh? What?
Never mind. That's the kind of joke that's only funny in the moment.
I didn't hear it.
I said I'm actually pretty good at pain management. I haven't hurt either one of you yet.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, my.
Ooh, I have grapes. I'm going to be right back.
Grapes. Ooh. I would like to plant grapes next year.
I would like to plant grapes as well. Around here, I'd probably have to plant muscadine grapes.
I'm thinking of Concords. And I could plant this cat.
Well, are we going to JoJo's Bizarre Adventures here?
Yeah.
They had a cat that got turned into a flower in that cartoon.
I think I missed this one.
Yeah, you probably did.
The way I figure it, if I'm going to be having weed and getting the munchies, I might as well have some food around that doesn't turn me into Brendan Fraser.
Oh, my. Oh,
I'm just saying.
bad thing about stretching out on the floor is that the floor is hard.
Mm.
Get yourself a knapsack down there.
Say again?
Get yourself a knapsack down there.
No, it's called a
No
sleeping
knapsack
bag.
down here, no.
Sleeping bag.
No, don't have one of those down here. I don't know where mine ended up.
So you know those backup cameras that a lot of cars have now? I've been calling those a kaleidoscope. You see.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know. The few people I've told that to, most of them think it's funny. Like genuinely actually amusing.
Makes sense.
Mm.
A good download I've got on my browsers is MP-Mux.
What's that?
It's a browser extension.
What's it do?
It allows you to download videos.
Oh, I see. Okay. So when you say download, you don't just mean off of a website, you mean like while they're streaming?
I've tried it on streaming services. It doesn't really work too well.
So what, for YouTube then?
Yeah, it works for YouTube or other videos, other services that have videos.
Hmm.
Streaming services usually break the thing up into like 1,000 different segments.
There were a couple of movies where, for whatever reason, the home video release was different from the theatrical release. And so there have been a couple of times where I've done like a screen capture from a streaming service and then re-edited the actual sequence, like, you know, the movie version on my computer and made an MP4 out of it.
Yeah, if I really wanted
Of
to,
course, the rat bastards go and start selling the real version.
I suppose if I wanted to, I could really, really wanted to put the effort into it, I could probably grab something from the streaming service. I would have to download each individual part or separately, and then get a compiler or to put it all together again.
I just did a screen capture. You know, like I let the relevant scene run while capturing my computer screen.
And Molly is sitting on my foot.
Is that a problem?
No,
Okay.
she decided to just kind of plop herself down on my foot.
Columbia has a tendency to put her head on my hand like it's a pillow. Which is adorable, but also immobilizing.
Yeah, I was resting out on the couch, and I tried to get up, and Molly had curled herself up around the back of my legs. So when I tried to swing my legs over her, she decided to put her head on my leg. I just kind of like was stuck there
Hmm.
because the dog was like, "No, I want to cuddle." No, she does happen to get out of the habit of licking her and chewing on her paws all the time.
Hmm.
Not sure what's up with that.
Sander has a weird habit of licking things that are probably better left unlicked.
Yeah, Molly seems to be that way too.
Like the wheels of the cart that I use to take the recycling down to the dumpster area, he'll lick those wheels for some reason. I don't get what he's getting out of it, except possibly sick, except he never seems to.
Hmm.
I don't know. It just seems like a weird thing to do.
If I don't let her lick her paws, she'll try and start licking my pants. If I don't let her do that, then she'll start trying to lick the couch.
Huh. Is it possible there's just something on her tongue that she wants off of it?
No?
Well, I wonder how different the sense of taste is for non-humans.
Probably pretty different.
Hmm. I don't know, it's weird. It seems like every creature in nature has better senses than humans.
For the most part.
I find that mildly annoying, actually.
Mm. We did manage to be very good endurance runners, though.
Hmm.
We do have these encephalized brains, which some of us don't seem to use.
Yeah, I suspect there are some people who think that using those brains is, well, optional. And you know what I'm noticing? Like, okay, Vermont has a lot of people who've apparently moved here from other places. Like, it's gotten a lot more diverse is the wrong word because that brings up racial connotations, although that is also happening. But like just from disparate parts of the country, people are moving in. And so I've been looking at the license plates and noticing the drivers, and I got to say, some of the worst drivers are from Florida.
I'm not surprised.
Like the sheer number of people from Florida who are doing just about the limit in the fast lane and keeping pace with someone on their right hand side so you can't get around them. Oh, like seriously, these people have no idea how to drive. And slow. Oh my God, they drive so slowly.
Oh, that's just for revenge.
Hmm.
So we usually have the out of state people coming down here and driving slowly. So gotta go up there and do it with you guys.
Yeah, but we get the out of state people coming up here to look at the leaves every fall.
We
Well,
got
and
the
not to mention all the schmucks who come up here to ski during the winter.
we got the guys coming down here and look at palm trees.
I have to admit, after a while, palm trees got to be quite unremarkable while I was living in California.
Mm.
But I mean, at first I was like, dude, I'm living near palm trees. I live in California now. How awesome is that? And after a while, I got to really hate California. Or more specifically, certain kinds of Californians. The,
Is it,
the, the really self-absorbed ones who don't notice when they're like getting in your way and who give you dirty looks when you hold doors open for strangers. You
mm,
know, there's some people from California who are just flat out bad people.
it's that cloud of smug over California, huh?
Yeah, even the least privileged are overprivileged there, it seems.
If you ever see the South Park episode of that,
Oh?
the the smug cloud,
No, I've managed to miss
everybody
that one.
everyone was driving hybrids and being smug about it.
Hmm. I haven't watched South Park since the 90s, so.
Hmm. I've been meaning to put together a clip from that.
I don't know. Sorry, I'm just thinking about the word hybrid and realizing just how many words I first heard in science fiction. Hybrid's definitely one of them.
Mm. Oh, the comic book I read was pretty decent. It was Jean Grey #1.
Mm.
It follows the story of a time when well, basically in the comic books, the original X-Men
Mm-hmm.
were time displaced. So Hank Beast went back in time, got the original team from the past, and brought them into the future. And this comic book basically is following that team going back to the original time when they left, but now they have all these memories and experiences from being in the future, and how that changed history in their timeline and going forward.
You know, I have to admit, like, superheroes and time travel, I don't think mix very well. I was watching the Flash TV show, and all the time traveling in the Flash started to get really annoying.
Hmm.
Now, this time travel thing with the X-Men, though, is this when Beast finally turned blue?
No.
No. All right, because I mean, I've been reading the like that omnibus of the original X-Men, and honestly, like, I don't remember Beast being quite so human looking.
Yeah, that happens later.
Okay.
Hmm. This basically, but the storyline would be taking place. The characters that were time displaced would be those ones before Beast became more blue.
Hmm. All right. And you know, I honestly don't remember this angel character, the one with the wings.
Really? Hmm.
Really?
Well, maybe you know him as Archangel. He has blue skin and metal wings.
Mm, no. Then again, I don't know a lot about the X-Men. I really only know the most major characters, like with any kind of decent recall. So,
Do you
and
ever
even then, I know very little about them. Like, I can point them out on a lineup and, you know, say, like, what their power probably is, but that's about it.
did you ever watch the animated series in the '90s, early
No.
'90s? No? Hmm. Missed out on that. It's pretty good.
It's probably streaming somewhere.
Yeah, I think you can buy the DVD. I believe the whole
I'm not
series.
that invested.
Apparently, in this comic book, Jean had all of her powers unlocked while she was in the future. So she has her psychic abilities, which were locked away at the time of the original run. But now she's basically becoming power hungry and power mad with the ability, and basically is mind wiping all the villains.
Hmm.
Like, okay, we know who's going to be the threat in the future, so I'm just going to go and mind wipe them before they become a threat. Was basically what she was trying to do.
Well, hmm. Do they always call her Marvel Girl?
Yeah, she's probably better known as Jean Grey, but
See, that was the only name I knew for her, and I was like, just sort of weirded out when they started calling her Marvel Girl. I'm like, what?
and then there's also her going by Phoenix.
Yeah, I know none of this stuff.
That's the whole Phoenix saga thing.
Yeah. I like, and I know that name. I don't know anything else about it.
Cosmic entity latched onto Jean Grey, yada yada. You'll read about it if you get that far in the comics.
I will probably stop reading after that omnibus. I'm like,
Oh,
this is not bad, but I don't think I'm getting into it.
Then you probably won't get to that part then.
Yeah. I don't know. Superhero comics, I never really got into them. And when I liked a comic, because it has happened, all of a sudden, like after a couple of issues, they I guess they decide the character isn't popular and go, we're just going to fold you into one of the leagues or whatever, or a legion or something. And so you won't have your own standalone comic anymore. And I was like, that's just obnoxious because I was enjoying that and I wanted to keep reading it. And now I don't want to have to go through and read all of these other comics just to find out what the hell's going on in this big ensemble cast comic you just put this character I was enjoying into.
DC is notorious for making you have to read half a dozen comics to follow a story.
Yeah, this was a DC character. Oh, well. And okay, I swear, because nobody else seems to remember this at all, but I started reading Deadpool, and this was way back when, like the 90s or something. And I was enjoying it, but after only a couple of issues, they were like, yeah, okay, so something happens with Deadpool, and now he's this other dude named Agent X, and he's not really Deadpool anymore somehow. I don't know. I didn't understand what the hell was going on. All I knew was that the comic I had started enjoying was canceled again. I was so pissed off. But oh well. I most of the comics I read are not like, superheroes.
What type
And
of
the ones that are pretty offbeat.
comics do you tend to read?
Well, I mean, my favorite for a long time has been ElfQuest, although some of that might have something to do with, well, never mind. And I like Strangers in Paradise is a good one. The Adventures of Barry Ween, Boy Genius, Hilo. Gosh, let's see what else. I mean, I enjoyed that I'm not okay with this comic, but it got pretty dark at times. I mean, I don't know. It's like, oh, what was another one? Yeah, Lenore. That was it. The Adventures of the Little Cute Dead Girl, Lenore. Yeah, that one. So, I mean, generally offbeat stuff. Still some adventure, but I don't know. Strangers in Paradise is weird. Like, I started reading it because a friend of mine was pushing me at it, and it started out looking like some sort of weird, almost high school drama kind of thing, except it wasn't in high school. And then turned into this weird nonsense about like drug lords and all kinds of. Turns out one of the characters had a past. So, it just got really, really weird. I don't know. It's like one of those ones where it's difficult to get all the way through it, but you can't make yourself stop.
Yeah.
You just got to know what happens. One of those.
I actually quite like the IDW who Ghostbusters run
Don't know
comics. Definitely stylized is art way, and one I've been reading recently is Savage Dragon.
Don't know that either.
Yeah, it's the Image Comics.
Well, I know them.
It's like basically following the son of the original little Savage Dragon. In more modern and more updated comics, and he has 3 kids, or actually 4 kids.
Well, what even is the premise? Because I don't know this comic at all.
It's sort of it's basically like a superhero thing, but he's has a family.
Okay, so the Incredibles then.
Kind of, but it's more. They have some like more modern day issues.
Okay.
Like they're planning to move to San Francisco, and they're like driving around, like, oh, this place is great, and then they turn a corner and they find like a tent town. Like, can we go home now? one of my favorite characters has been Amy Dragon. She's one of the little girls, that one of the kids, and she basically has a. Imagine someone with the powers of the Incredible Hulk, but with a 5-year-old's mentality.
Oy vey. Well, do you remember the character from Animaniacs, Katie Kaboom?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the very first thing to come to mind when you said that.
There was like one scene where she's going to a birthday party with one of her friends, and her mother's telling her, "Remember, they're not like you. You have to be careful with them." And apparently, some supervillain was trying to rob the house at the same time, and she like fires some fire from his hands, like burns her dress, like you ruined my pretty dress, and like beats the crap out of him, leveling the whole house.
Hmm.
It was funny. I was like, I could definitely see a 5-year-old with superpowers doing something like that.
Yeah. It's probably for the best I didn't have superpowers as a 5-year-old. I would not have used them well.
And then the character also has a sister, apparently, little sister who's like almost kind of toddler age, and she wanted her mother to read the Green Eggs and Ham to her. But the thing is, the little sister also has like electro electricity powers that she doesn't fully control yet. So while she's sitting on her lap, the mother's like looking like a hostage situation and all scared that she's gonna get electrocuted to death.
Hmm. I don't know. Have you watched The Boys?
Yeah.
Like, you know that scene where what's his face is like aiming a baby with Cyclops vision at a dude to fight him?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. For some reason, that makes me laugh.
I've only looked at the comics books a little bit. I haven't gotten too far into those
You know, I
comics.
really ought to give them a look. I'm not sure that like they're actually going to continue making the show. It doesn't look like it.
Oh, that
So
would be a
maybe
shame.
I should just read the comics and see what happens.
They should give the show at least one more season.
They should.
Yeah.
But at least give some time to wrap things up.
There's some major changes between the comic books and the show.
Well, don't tell me about them because I might put the comics on my wish list and then
Okay.
when I have a chance, I'll buy them.
Just
Now, here's a weird question. Maybe you know, maybe you don't. But has the show actually, has the comic finished or is it ongoing? Has the story been completed?
I think the comic book was finished.
Okay. Because, I mean, there have been way too many times when I've started getting into something like that, and then it turns out that the show is like Game of Thrones kind of thing, where the books are not done yet, even though the show has ended, you know?
Yeah. I'm
So
not.
I don't want to get into another one of those situations.
Yeah, it looks like it ended in 2012.
All right. Well, I might have to give it a whirl. Wonder how much it is. Like, how long did it go for?
72 issues.
72, it's not that bad, actually, in terms of
No.
budget. Well, let's see.
There is an omnibus you can get.
Is there?
Yeah.
Well, okay, thank you, Prime, but I'm not looking for the... Wait a minute. The Boys presents Diabolical? What on earth is that? Well, wait a minute. I'm seeing The Boys Omnibus Volume 1, but...
Oh, yeah, it's broken down to a bunch of volumes. Probably best just to go with the comic.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll just buy this first one. It's not that expensive.
Yeah.
And then, wait a minute. That's digital. I want paperback. There we go. Looks like it would be about $80 to buy all of them. I could do that, but I mean, I don't even know if I'm going to enjoy it. Oh,
Check out
wait.
the link.
Oh,
Check
wait
out
a minute. There's more than that. That's only 3 of them is going to cost like $80.
check out the link in the private chat. Oh, and be sure you have U Black Origin running.
I do. I think that's what that is. Yes. Yes, it is. All right. All right. Uh, oh. Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, and that's how you do that. Ugh. Wow. That is a disgusting image.
What'd you find?
Well, it was page 2 of issue 1.
Oh.
That was a bit of a crunching, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Weird art style.
Notice who's Huey he looks like in the comic book.
Yeah. Now I have to wonder whether that was on purpose. I'm sure the casting was in the show, but
I think it was on purpose in the comic.
hmm.
I gotta say, I like how they handled the death of the girlfriend in the show better than the comic here. Kind of makes it more personal.
Yeah. I wonder, like, if the support group for the people who've been hurt by supers is in the comic too. Because I found that segment interesting. Of course, at times I was just like, "Oh, you got to be kidding me!" Like that one dude who started like going out with some woman whose superpower was turning to ice, and she ended up freezing his dick off.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, the shrinking guy was pretty bad too.
oh god, oh I'd forgotten about that. Oh my god, I'd forgotten about that. Ew. Well, that whole scene with the house was just twisted. Well, I'll just put the first omnibus on my wish list as a bookmark. I mean, most of the stuff on my wish list is just a bookmark. I'm not expecting anyone to buy jack shit, but I'll get it when I have a chance. I mean, hell, I probably shouldn't even buy it until I've finished the X-Men omnibus, which I bought like a year ago, but I only read it when I'm on the John,
Yeah.
so
And there's quite a lot there, so.
yeah. Like I just got to the issue with the Mimic.
Yeah.
And he took Jean Grey into like a little bunker that is built into a mine or something. I don't know.
Is it just me, or are all those older comics more wordy?
I don't know.
So I tend to I find I have to. I'm reading more. I feel like I'm reading more in the older comics than I am in the newer ones.
Hmm. I hadn't given it a scrap of thought.
It's like the newer ones are more visually based.
Well, I mean, speaking as an artist myself, I prefer that, but and I have to admit, like with the comic, I have the same problem with wordy comics that I have with subtitles, where I end up just looking at the words and I keep missing the actual visuals, you know?
Hmm. I don't really have that problem with comics, seeing as it's a static image, so I can read the words and then look at the image, or vice versa.
Well, I don't know, it's just that by the time I've read um, like the words, I'm ready to move on to more plot. I mean, I recognize this is a me problem, and but still, it happens.
Maybe an ADHD thing.
Yeah. So the more action there is on the page, the better, I say. And of course, as we all know, what I say goes.
And why is Critical Cupcake posting images of dogs in dresses?
You said what now?
Oh, just scrolling through Twitter, and I saw Critical Cupcake, and they have pictures of dogs in dresses.
Why?
I don't know.
Hmm. Well, I suppose it could be worse. Couldn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
I don't know. Could have been Republicans in dresses.
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
I was picturing Trump as being far more hideous, but sure.
Oh, I did see a clip of Republicans in drag.
Well, you remember there was like some event that Rudy Giuliani attended in drag like a long ass time ago?
I don't remember.
Yeah, people have been using it against him whenever he starts going off on LGBT shit. They'll point to that costume. So, in my not even slightly humble opinion, so many of those fuckers are going to jail.
Oh yeah.
I sincerely hope that when they sentence Trump, it's not to home confinement.
There is a
I
possibility
mean,
of that.
but I mean, how much of a punishment is that really? His homes are like gigantic. Unless they say, yeah, home confinement in that one tiny ass apartment you own, fine, but that's not what's going to happen.
Hmm.
I mean, imagine being confined to Mar-a-Lago. Oh
Yeah.
darn, you know.
To spend all this time I'm playing golf.
So no home confinement for him.
There is a question as to what to do with them.
Well, I mean, there have been some people who've been saying, you should just, like, if you're convicted of this kind of thing, you should just lose your Secret Service detail. Like the way they can take away this, that, or the other rights from felons and stuff. Why not
Well,
tell them, look, you've just forfeited your protection?
well, the issue with it, putting him in jail is he has knowledge of top secret information, and they don't exactly want that around other inmates.
Well, I suppose there's that, but still. I don't know. I mean,
Oh, there it
they
is.
could stick him in solitary for the rest of his life.
Mm. That's generally regarded as rather cruel and unusual punishment.
That's my point. I don't know. I've actually been debating with my dad half-heartedly about which would be worse for Trump, being like uh, executed or something, or the rest of his life in prison. Personally, I think the rest of his life in prison would be so much worse.
Like you left, check out this video from Kyle Kalinske
What about it?
from Twitter.
Why? What is it? I mean, I'm not going to watch it during the show. You might as well summarize.
Republicans in drag, and it's like looks like a AI deep fake kind of thing.
Oh, no, there's actual honest to goodness video from yonks ago of Rudy Giuliani in drag.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I also put it in Lavender's DM group if you want to see it later.
Okie doke. Yeah. So, okay, have you ever been in a situation where there's somebody who desperately needs their pronunciation corrected, but you're in a situation where doing it is just going to get people grumpy with you? Because I've been playing D&D, and we are on an adventure in a part of the Dungeons and Dragons universe that I know fairly well because of some of the novels I've read, more than playing the actual game. And I'm sorry, but the name of that particular town in the Underdark is Blingdenstone, not Blindingstone. Blingden, Blingden, Blingden. Oh, and those creatures, they're hook horrors, not hooked horrors. Just saying.
Hook horrors or
But anyway, yeah, the DM has been mispronouncing everything, and I'm just sitting here grinding my teeth like, dude. Fortunately, I got to him before he could start mispronouncing Menzoberranzan. I could see him reading it off the page. He's badly mangling it, and I'm like, put me in, coach. I got this one.
We will enter wherever you said.
Menzoberranzan.
Menzoberranzan. Okay.
Yeah. It's the city of the Dark Elves.
Yeah. I do like reading through some of those D&D manuals just for ideas.
I saw the D&D movie, the recent one, the Honor Among Thieves, recently.
It was okay.
It was silly, but at the same time, it didn't feel too different from the way a lot of campaigns get played. Because sometimes, actual D&D campaigns can get goofy.
I felt it was trying to be a Marvel movie.
You're not wrong.
No, then again, I'm told that some campaigns in some recent years are more like Marvel movies anyway, so...
Well, I don't know. We've been basically going around Blingdenstone, solving mysteries the way you might do side quests on a console game.
Hmm.
You know. That was when I got the opportunity to shoot a Gorgon in the ass.
I got my hands on some books that allow me to play solo.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Are there any that let you play Skywalker?
maybe.
Hmm. Man. I mean, I know
But
that's an awful joke, but still.
yeah, I might give that a try sometime.
Hmm. I'm not really sure how that can work. I mean, as DM, you know all of the secrets. So how do you, as a player, also be a DM?
It randomizes things for you.
Oh.
So you basically have the booklet and you roll for things more.
Hmm. I don't know. At a certain point, it starts to sound like it's just easier to play a video game.
I was wondering if in that if that scene in the Honor Among Thieves thing where the guy is walking straight and just kind of walks over a rock, like and just keeps going straight, was that a reference to anything from D&D?
I don't remember that part.
The guy who helped him out to get the helmet, and when he left, he just started walking straight and was like, nope,
Oh,
there's a
God.
rock in the way. It's like, is he gonna walk around it? Nope, nope, he's gonna walk over it.
Oh, I forget. It was something about who he was. I don't know. It was a character thing, not a D&D world thing, I think.
Yeah, all right.
I don't know.
I was just wondering if there was like a reference there I was missing. It kind of felt like referencey.
Well, you caught the reference to the cartoon, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, I was watching it with my dad on a streaming service, and when they got to that part and you first see them way off in the distance, I was like, wait a minute, and paused it and rewound it and went, yep, I did just see what I thought I saw. You know.
Yeah, well, I think probably could have gotten some better for Sheila, but eh.
And still, I mean, that was amusing.
Yes, it was.
Did you ever see the 90s movie?
The '90s movie?
Well, I think they made it in the 1990s. I don't remember exactly, but the Dungeons and Dragons movie with Jeremy Irons.
Oh, oh yeah. I was kind of hoping to forget that.
That was so bad. Oh my gosh, that was bad.
Yes, I've blocked most of that out of my head.
Yeah. Well, I was watching some video about Honor Among Thieves, and there were some clips from that movie, and I was like, I wish I'd never seen that.
Yeah, I thought Honor Among Thieves was a fairly decent popcorn flick.
It was all right. There were a lot of moments where I was just like, oh, did you really just, oh, I
Mm.
don't know. And I knew Michelle Rodriguez was not going to live like, I mean, sure, she kind of did, but there was no doubt in my mind she was getting killed at some point in that movie. I mean, seriously, she has died almost as many times as Sean Bean.
Yeah, this is true.
I can name way too many movies where she dies. Oh, well. Hmm.
I think it's been a while since I really recognized her in a movie before, though. For a while.
Well, I mean, look at Honor Among Thieves. She barely looks like herself anymore.
Yeah. I mean, at first I was like, wait, she looks familiar. I know her from someplace. Oh, that's her.
Well, it
Kind of
would
thing.
have taken me a while to recognize her if I hadn't seen her name in the credits.
Hmm. I remember the role I remember her from was in Resident Evil, mostly.
I know I saw that. I don't remember anything about it.
And yeah, she dies in that one too. So
Yeah. I mean, I'm starting to wonder what people have against her.
mm. So if they ever did an Aliens remake, it should be a good one to play Vasquez.
That's true. I mean, I still think it's funny that the Hispanic lady was played by a Jewish woman.
Yeah.
These days, there'd be a lot of uproar about it. I just think it's funny.
Yeah. I don't really like how we were so uptight about that.
Yeah, well, people were kind of bitching about how Oppenheimer was not being played by a Jew.
Hmm.
And I mean, like, if someone can play the part in a respectable way, whatever, I say let them do it. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it. There have been times where people play outside their race where it's just awful. I mean, Mickey Rooney playing an Asian guy, just no. But I mean, Cillian Murphy looked the part of Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
And I've never seen footage of the guy, so I'm assuming his like portrayal was correct. But he did the job. That's all that should matter. And if anyone tries to say that Jewish people are underrepresented in Hollywood, what's wrong with you? I mean, to be fair, there are some portrayals of certain races that are rarely flattering. I mean, geez, when was the last time there was an Italian who wasn't a mobster?
Mm.
You know? But, I mean, still,
They usually get autism pretty badly done in movies.
yeah. Well, it doesn't help that a lot of people still don't know the difference between autism and Down syndrome. Like, seriously, a lot of people, like, it's the people who say, but you don't look autistic. They're probably expecting you to look like you have Down syndrome.
I really thought about
Uh, I mean, I can't imagine what looking autistic would mean otherwise. I really don't.
looking mentally handicapped in some way.
But how do you look mentally handicapped?
Like a Rain Man kind of situation.
But you just look like Dustin Hoffman.
Oh, but there's nothing I can take hold.
I'm just saying, is like, I think a lot of people have mental images of these things that are based on incomplete data.
I gotta get up here. Oof. Whoa. Hello.
Hello. It seems like you've been gone for a while.
A little while.
Hmm.
I guess most people think in autism they think someone who looks like Doofy, Gilmore from Scary Movie.
I've never seen it.
Hmm.
Yeah, so let's see. Oh, wow. We've been at this for a few minutes.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Although the last comment in the chat was more than an hour ago.
Oh my.
Yes, we have successfully driven everyone away.
Oh yay.
I'm used to that. It's one of my superpowers.
It says 4 watching now. I don't know if it knows how to count or what.
Well, maybe they're just not chatting with us. Maybe we're on as background noise. Maybe we're providing inspiration for someone who's working while they watch.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I don't buy it either. So, have you seen a movie called Spree?
Does not sound familiar.
Weird flick. It's about this guy who's a vlogger who just can't seem to get views. And he's also an Uber, well, not Uber, but like Uber driver. And so what he does is he sets up a bunch of cameras inside his car and starts murdering the people he picks up
Oh
live.
boy.
And like half the internet doesn't believe it, that like they don't think he's really doing it, that it's all got to be fake. And then of course, you get the usual people who are commenting like, oh my god, this is great, and all of that. It's kind of a twisted movie, but it's also presented as a comedy.
All right.
Yeah, a pretty dark comedy. It was a little bit understated, but I thought they made it work. It's got the guy who played Steve in Stranger Things in it.
Moo.
Well, anyway. He was also in that other movie. Free Guy, that's it. Almost said Ready Player One. Free Guy. Well, despite being a ripoff of Tron, I thought Free Guy was pretty good. Or maybe because it's a ripoff of Tron, I do tend to like movies that are similar to other movies I like.
Oh, there were a few scenes in that gave me Matrix vibes.
In what?
Free Guy.
Matrix, really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
When you're in the perspective of Guy.
Well, if you say so.
He's in the digital world and doesn't really realize it's a made up world, and suddenly gains all these powers.
I don't know. I'm just looking at how a bunch of geeks made a video game and it got stolen by a CEO, and now they need the help of someone in a computer world to get their game back. I mean, how is that not the plot of Tron?
Moo.
Though Taika Waititi, he's saying that he doesn't really play characters; he just acts himself. Makes me wonder.
Yeah, just a bit. I mean, I wonder about, why am I blanking on his name? Not James Woods, James Spader. Because he, except for like Stargate, almost always plays complete assholes. And he says he really likes doing that. Now, I got the impression from how he said it that what he really likes is having a chance to let his dark side out to play once in a while, rather than like, I'm a real jerk kind of thing. But I don't know. I'm just guessing. Yeah, I do have to wonder, like, what our actors really like, because we only know the characters they play. And having had contact with certain celebrities online, a lot of them are royal jerks, and some of them are really quite nice.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought about getting into acting, but I realized that I would be getting into it for all the wrong reasons.
Hmm.
So, because I don't really love acting, I love the end results of acting, and I love the like the stories that get told. If I were to go into acting, it's because I'd want to live vicariously through these characters to have the adventures they're having, and that's not a good reason to go into acting.
I've thought of going into acting, but I'm too much myself to act.
Hmm. Well, that doesn't hinder some people. There are a lot of people who end up basically playing themselves, like in every movie. Like when has Pauly Shore not been Pauly Shore?
Hmm.
Not knowing Pauly Shore personally, I really don't know.
Well, let's just say that he basically plays the same guy in every movie.
Jeff Goldblum is pretty much the same guy in every movie too.
That's true.
Even before he really established the that mannerisms he had, you can still hear it a little bit in that Fly movie.
Or Buckaroo Banzai, like he's totally being Jeff Goldblum in Buckaroo Banzai.
Mm. And he didn't really establish the real mannerisms he's become famous for until Jurassic Park.
Hmm.
You can still hear it in his older stuff.
It is kind of wild sometimes to see someone play off brand, where it's like that's not who they usually are.
Mm. Jim Carrey is an interesting one
Yeah.
from Kick Ass.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I barely recognized him.
Sometimes he can actually act.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like apparently Will Ferrell as well can actually act, but he ends up in those really stupid comedies playing the same kind of character all the time. But when you give him a chance, he like can bring it. It makes me wonder why he doesn't.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, is it because everyone just wants him to be Will Ferrell, so he always gets cast in the same sort of stuff, or is this what he's pursuing?
Don't know.
Well, anyway.
Keep going quiet because I'm eating potato chips and I don't want to be crunching in your ear.
Hmm. I'm trying to decide whether I want something to eat. I have these grapes, but I'm thinking something a little more substantial. I don't know. What do I even have? I mean, I know I've got food, but
Food like substance.
yes. Spreadable lips, anuses, and teats, splat the yummy alterna meat. Remember, if it spits, craps, or squirts, it's in there.
We're basically Diane's diet.
Yeah. Like I say, a renal diet is easy to follow. Do not eat, do not drink.
Well, I'm sure you can still eat the cardboard box the stuff comes in.
Well, look at it this way. At least there's no kale. So, did anyone watch the Republican debate?
No.
Nope.
I did. I got the impression that Chris Christie was trying to be the I was against Trump before it was popular candidate.
Oh, yeah, he's been doing
He
that.
was absolutely not on board with Trumpism in any way.
And apparently,
Like, given how people are starting to turn on Trump, it might have been a good move. On the other hand, he might have been cutting his own throat and setting the scene for the next I'm not with Trump anymore candidate.
well, apparently Chris Christie is actually running specifically to trash Trump. That was like
Oh,
that's the whole reason why he ran in the first place. He doesn't really expect to win.
but I mean, to what end?
That's it. He just wants to kabash Trump.
But
That's the only thing. That's the end.
but given how much a campaign costs, I mean, that seems like a strange reason to spend all that money.
Well, it seems today like Ramaswamy Ding Dong wants to run as
Remember
the Trump cocksucker.
when you're conducting a campaign, it's not your money for the most part.
Even so, I mean, you have to get people to believe in you enough that they're willing to give you that money.
Well, apparently, Chris Christie has been going up in the polls. So.
And what is up with that Ramaswamy guy? I mean, he comes off like a used car salesman crossed with a motivational speaker.
I
Like,
don't know.
seriously, that guy seems like he's way over caffeinated. Like, we're talking, studying for the bar, it's tomorrow, I've drunk this much caffeine, kind of over caffeinated.
I heard some speculation that he's just running. And the reason why he's going so pro-Trump is he wants to get a cabinet position.
Oh. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. DeSantis didn't seem to have any idea what he was doing.
Is he ever?
Well, I mean, like, he's seriously up on that stage compared to everyone else. He seemed like he was. Honestly, he seemed much the same way Hillary did back in the day, where he seemed to think, oh, it's my turn.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's been his main mentality.
Yeah.
And sorry about the wannabe Hitler from Florida.
Well, I'm sure you didn't vote for him.
I certainly did not. So I don't remember who I voted for. No, it was definitely not him. I generally avoid voting for Republicans like they're the plague when I can.
Well, I don't know. There's nobody in this country who's left enough for me for the most part. I mean, I would have been very, very, very happy with Bernie, but he's never going to be president.
Oh. Oh God, it hurts us.
Hmm.
Oh, I just hope something good happens tomorrow.
What's tomorrow?
An appointment at a pain management clinic.
Oh, okay. We had discussed that previously. I just didn't realize.
I don't know if I'm gonna.
Hey,
What?
we got Beck in the chat.
Oh, hey, Beck.
Hey, Beck.
How the Hades are you?
Frustrada perché che pascinta e a per pettini.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God.
Ugh. I am starting to be that kind of tired you get when you've been sitting on your ass for too long.
Uh-huh.
I hate
No,
that
it
kind
will.
of tired. Oh, quiet you. Silly kitty. I think someone wants attention. Up we go. There we are.
Well, when
Damn.
he is involved, there's always a shortage of attention.
Hey, there's a
Well,
lot of applications.
I guess Xander didn't want attention because he jumped right off my lap, unless he wants the kind of attention that involves standing up and running around with a string. Either
Well,
that or he wants kitty treats. He could definitely be the sort who wants kitty treats right now.
Molly's laying on my. Don't do that. It hurts.
That's why I'm doing it.
I got Molly here laying on my foot, and using one of my weights as a pillow.
One of your weights?
Yeah, I have an 8-pound weight down here, and she's using it as a pillow.
Huh. Hmm. Are these weights that you lift?
Yes, like little dumbbells.
Remember, you said that, not me.
I do need to get heavier ones, though. I need to go up to 10 pounds.
Hmm.
I'm not allowed to do that stuff anymore.
Well,
Really?
if you had just done your homework and eaten your peas, you would be allowed to still.
Yeah, you got a point there.
Is that because of your neck?
Because of the fistula in my left arm.
Yeah.
Hmm. I don't know. Fistula always sounds a little bit porny to me, but
Yeah. Yeah, but when they modified the plumbing, made it easy to damage it.
Yeah.
I've gotta give me a minute or two. I gotta take the weight off my neck.
like, I know I absolutely should not, but it is so difficult to not pick at the scab that's on that tattoo.
I think Yeah, I think I would have a hard time. I'm not picking at scabs.
Yeah. I don't know. It's funny, like, as much as it was good finally getting an official diagnosis of autism, I find myself asking too many times, I wonder if that's an autism thing whenever I do something weird.
I know how that is.
And so I'm like, I wonder how much it's an autism or ADHD or whatever the fuck thing to pick at scabs. But then again, that sounds like the kind of thing neurotypical people do too. So, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I think I'll put one of my ginger beers in the fridge for later.
Hmm.
The Cock'em Bowl brand.
It's funny. I looked up the difference between ginger beer and ginger ale recently, and I seem to remember that, like, the ginger's actually brewed when it's in the beer rather than the ginger ale, which is just sparkling ginger soda, basically.
Yeah, the
I don't
ginger beer is usually alcoholic. This is a non-alcoholic one though.
really, because most of the time when I see ginger beer, it's not in any fashion alcoholic.
Hmm. I was thinking about making my own.
Hmm. I mean, I would certainly drink ginger booze, but probably not if it was beer.
Well, alcoholic ginger beer is basically just ginger ale with alcohol.
Well, yeah, but the kind of alcohol matters.
Hmm, that's true. I was thinking about maybe trying a Switzel.
Am I hearing snoring?
I
I
don't
think
know.
Diana fell asleep.
She did kind of go in the back there and left the stream going.
I don't know. Well, it could be worse. We could be on this stream and hear a flush.
Done that before.
Hmm. Well, I mean, I was watching that Legal Eagle channel, and apparently there was a scene. He used it like a couple of times where it's the middle of the pandemic, everyone's working virtually or by remote or whatever, and so someone's arguing in front of the Supreme Court, and then you hear this loud flush just over the Supreme Court audio. And apparently, someone who was, doing it by remote had turned off their video but not their sound, and well, flush.
That has happened.
Yep. Then there was the one dude, I think it was a Supreme Court justice again, but it was somebody like high up in government could not get the cat filter turned off. So like they're in this official meeting and they're like, look, I'm here, I can't turn it off, I'm not a cat. Yeah, I thought it was pretty funny. I don't know. I mean, the guy who said it was this like clearly ancient, crusty old dude. He was clearly the sort who needed his grandchildren to set up his printer.
Yeah. Well, I guess I was thinking about making Switchel.
Switchel?
Yeah, it's an old time drink. Apparently, people used to make it and keep it cool in like wells and running in streams for when they were working out in the field. It's
What?
basically it's basically apple cider vinegar, or water, some kind of sweetener like molasses, and powdered ginger.
Okay, this is why people in that era like only lived to 30.
That's not true.
All right, well, anyway.
But I was watching Tasting History channel, and he made some, and he said it actually was pretty good.
I saw like a show. I didn't actually watch it. It's on the choices on like I want to say Netflix, but it might be something else. It's like somebody's name I forget, like Gary Eats the '80s or something, where basically this dude goes through all the cuisine of the 1980s and makes it. Like I might have watched it if I was into cooking shows, but I'm not, so I didn't watch it, but. I remember noting it as I went by because I was about ready to click on it and then I noticed the premise.
I was actually thinking about making it for my gardening channel, seeing as the stuff is traditionally made for working while working out in a field. I thought, okay, well, is there any significant difference between drinking this stuff compared to just drinking water?
Well,
So I could, test it out.
I mean, it's apparently full of vinegar. I mean, ew.
No, it's actually a very small amount of vinegar, and apparently you don't the way once if it's properly made, you don't taste the vinegar.
Uh huh. That's what they say. But we all know the truth, don't we?
That the guy tasting it was telling the truth.
No, no, that's not what we know.
That you're a super taster and you probably taste it anyway.
There we go. Well, that and I seem to be high as a kite at the moment and barely able to think. But I am hungry.
That usually goes hand in hand with being high.
Yeah.
So apparently, this stuff is good for preventing cramping,
Oh,
supposedly.
well, okay.
Don't know. I mean, not sure how much evidence there is to any benefits it actually has.
Hmm. Well, anyway. I'm sort of tempted to go.
Hmm.
I'm hungry and it's warm in here.
Yeah, and all I've been doing is eating potato chips.
Hmm.
Not quite enough.
So, okay, this is kind of embarrassing, but I always thought for the longest time that Pringles were just really thin slices of potato. It took me forever to figure out that Pringles are just like mashed potatoes baked.
Really?
Yeah, like it's potato pulp. It's not actually potato chips.
Hmm.
Is that weird?
Yeah, no, I kind of figured it out pretty quickly.
Hmm. No, I spent a long time not even giving a shit, and then at some point it dawned on me that potato chips are nothing like these. What the hell's going on? Why are Pringles different?
Yeah, I did notice the texture of them being quite different.
Hmm. Ah, well. Anyway, I'm gonna go get me some food. I'll catch you evil geniuses later.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do the same. Sorry, Diana, if you wake up if you're back there.
Yeah, if not, it's gonna be kind of funny. You waking up to an empty stream like after a couple of hours. Yeah, we're both gonna like take off. I'm hungry and
What?
We're both hungry. We need to eat.
You need to
yeah.
eat.
Yes.
So
Yeah, and I need to take the strain off my neck. So maybe it's a good time to say goodbye to everybody.
Yeah.
all right. Well, have fun later.
Okay, be good and have fun. Any last words?
Oh, I hope not. These are not going to be my last words, people. I will be back. I swear.
Okay then. I like that.
All right. Later.
Later.
Have fun, honey.
My last words. You're next. Later.
Later, hon. Oh my, so I guess that's one more down. Yeah, here I am all by myself now. So I'll tell you what, guys. I want to thank everybody who's here, and I want to thank everybody who's not here. I really appreciate being appreciated. I do. Those of you who are still here, thank you. I thank every one of you. And I'm not going anywhere. I want to stick around for a while, and I'll give it a shot. So, in the meantime, I want to say thanks a lot, troops. See you on the other side. One of these days, I'll be back as myself. We'll see what happens. Okay. Take care, everybody.